somebody presented the question to me, do you think athletes are above the law?
If you have privilege, pretty much have some favor.
Behind the mask.
What up, my boy?
What's good, family? Another day in paradise. You know what it is.
It's already, bro. And it is amazing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
You peeped that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah. Hey, thank you.
No doubt.
But what's up, man? What we chopping it up today, man?
Listen, man, it is a lot going on every off season there is. And I know we've been posed with some questions on the content, man.
We have.
Yeah.
We have, and it really kind of irritated me. And that's the reason why we went to social, because we wanted to see what y'all had to say. And so, listen, somebody presented the question to me, do you think athletes are above the law?
Man, above the law? I don't know about that. I mean, we got some privilege with us, but I don't know. What did the audience say, though? That's what I want to get into, though.
Well, let's go to the audience then and see what they had to say. We got some pretty good ones, though. First one is, okay. Shout out to Derek Burgess, follows the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, DB.
100.
Derek Burgess said, hell no. We below the law because they are waiting to catch us in a jam. What regular people get in trouble for is not magnified on the same scale. Then, let me read one more. Marcellus Rivers. He said, I don't think so. Yes, we can afford the privileges that most can't. But we get in trouble and go to jail quicker than anybody else. I do mean anyone, in quotation.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of responses, and I got a couple too, man. Tommy Nixon said he doesn't believe athletes feel they're above the law, and the reason is why is because when they get to the league, they don't know the law yet. Young men and women. But we do know that saying you don't know is not a defense. Yeah. So that's one thing. And then Mason Clarinita, she always supports, said, personally, she thinks it has to do with the athlete as an individual. Some individuals will think that because they have money, they will be above the law. And then other athletes will understand that as an athlete, this is what I do, not who I am. And the last one, Universal King, he flat out said yes. Athletes feel
what?
They flat out said yes. Athletes feel they above the law.
Universal King, you about to turn into a prince.
Yo.
He tripping right now.
Listen, man, it's crazy with so much going on, and we're talking about athletes feeling like they're above the law. Everybody knows what's going on with Brittney Griner. You know, unfortunately, she locked up in Russia, has been there for some months now, not able to get home quite yet. And then everything going on also with Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Potentially getting suspended from the NFL. So,
bro, actually he is suspended, right?
He is suspended, yeah. And I think the league appealed it, and now they're trying to extend.
Yeah, now he's got 11 games.
11 games, yeah. So, you know, when you think of, and these are just separate incidents, right? And we can't really say athletes as a whole in a context, but it's the mindset that we're put on that pedestal. So when we're put on that pedestal, the whole world sees it. Yep. So I'm going to ask you, bro, we got some of the audience involved, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all subscribe to the Behind the Mask podcast on YouTube, everywhere that we're at, so you know when these questions are coming about. But what do you think? Do athletes feel that they are above the law?
Well, since you asked, do I think athletes think they are above the law? Once an athlete, always an athlete.
That's a fact.
I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say that, I know we had a few people say, well, some of them don't know the law. Well, you know right from right and wrong from wrong.
That's a fact.
And, you know, most times or even sometimes that coincides with the law. But I'm going to say no. I just think a lot of it boils down to the privilege that we as athletes has been offered. I think a lot of privilege comes along with not just athletes. I'm just saying people of status.
Yeah.
The privilege of you being able to hold a crowd, entertain a crowd, have followers. That way you're able to monetize. So it all comes back to money. Yeah. And I think, if you're able to bring in an income, if you have a particular set of skills that people will pay X amount of money for it to come see, whether or not if it's right or wrong, I think that's what drives the end result of what happens. Prime case example, Brittney Griner. So I don't think athletes walk around in general thinking that they're above the law, but I do believe because we feel the privilege. And I think that privilege comes from all of the things that we've done since we were younger playing the game.
Yeah.
And once you excel, once you have success, people want to support you and see you continue to climb the ranks. Get higher, college, then you go to pro. And then they get some type of gratification off, hey, yo, you know what? I looked out for him when he was younger. And at the end of the day, depending on how strong that lookout was, you may have forgot to let that person really learn the true lesson of, man, some things you just can't float around and do.
Yeah.
And so now I think, mentally, your perception, you walk into any situation and now you're thinking, oh, man, it'll be all right because somebody will look out for me, Yeah. It's not so much for me. I don't look at it like we think or I think that I'm above the law. I think you turn on the TV and, case example, just race wars, and you see all of this stuff going on, cops murking people. And I'm not saying all cops are bad, but I just do believe overall, no, I don't think that we're above it, but I just think some of the perks of life that comes along with being an entertainer, being an athlete,
person of status,
person of social status, you're gonna get away with some stuff that typical people probably won't.
Oh yeah, and we've all gotten away with shit. Like, and it ain't just athletes. It's not just me and you. You know what I mean? And I think when we go behind the mask, we peeling back layers, and we keeping it 100. No lies in the lounge.
Keep it a buck
of what really goes on. And the difference is we're able to tell those stories. And I agree with you somewhat, but I'm not going to say all athletes think or feel like they're above the law. But hell yeah, there are some that feel like, you know what? I'm good. I'm everything's going to be all right. Why? From whenever you became this young man or woman of status, right? What's the first thing that happens? Your parents.
Get a pat on the back.
Pat on the back. The parents love you, taking you here everywhere. The coaches are saying, this kid is good. This kid can make it. This kid can, play in high school, college, maybe pro one day. Kids start to think that, right? Obviously, the coaches are taking care of you. Some of the coaches, everybody else got to wait for their parents to get a ride home. This coach is sitting here waiting with you to give you a ride home.
Right.
On the ride home, what does he do? Shout out to Coach Smitty. Rest in peace. One of my JV coaches. Let everybody else go home. Took me home. Hey, Two, you want something to eat? Yeah, I'm hungry. I've been waiting all day for everybody else, parents to pick me up. Yeah, I'm hungry. Well, let's go get something to eat, right? Then you have the other coaches making sure you're good wherever you go, whatever you need. If you need some, a little fajules in your pocket, I got you. I got you taken care of. Then you have the teachers, the professors. When we were in school, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to pass this course, pass this class, do whatever I need to do to continue to move on. But then they say, you know what? Come study a little bit extra. We got you. We'll take care of you. And best believe there's some professors and teachers out there that pass people that didn't need to be passed. And then we go to the cops, as you talked about. When you go to the cops, 9 times out of 10, because you're a professional athlete, because you're a college athlete, because you're a high school athlete, they may look the other way. Think about how many speeding tickets we got out of because we were athletes.
Yeah.
The first thing you do when you get to the NFL, what do? They give you the NFL card, fam. What does the NFL card give you? Access, privilege, the green light. I call it VIP. What's VIP? VIP. Okay, I can't get in this club. Flash my NFL card. Now I can get in. I get pulled over for a ticket. Guess what? What am I doing? I'm giving my driver's license. Along with my driver's license is my NFL card. Oh, you play in the league? Yeah, I play in the league. Oh, cool. Where'd you go to school at? Psh, I went to Ole Miss. Did you? Well, hell, my daughter went to Ole Miss.
Clearly didn't.
What's your daughter's name? Oh, she graduated this year. Psh, yeah, I did too. Where you from? I'm from Georgia. You know my man George Foster, Charles Grant,
G. Hurst?
Garrison Hurst? Oh, yeah. My dad went to school with Garrison Hurst. That's my guy. Give me a second. Let me check this ticket. All right, you good. So do we think we're above the law? Not everybody. But do we have privilege? And do we exercise our privilege? Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Why? Because as you climb that rank, you start off the pyramid, many blocks, many kids, many people playing these sports. As you move up, fewer and fewer kids playing, fewer and fewer athletes. As you get to the top, you become part of that 1%. We're part of the 1% that play in the NFL. So do we deserve that privilege? Hell yeah. Above the law? Some. But do we deserve the privilege that we've been afforded? Hell yeah.
So what you mean when you say some?
Some people have a different mindset in terms of what that privilege is, right? Some people take it to, okay, because I've gotten all this privilege as a young person, young male or female, young man or woman growing up, that I am above the law. Personally, nah, you can't really do that. That ain't how it's supposed to be. But people do act like that, and you can't front like some athletes don't. They do.
They do.
They do.
They do. And for me, when I see athletes like that, clearly I don't think that they think they are above the law. I think you're stupid. I've only heard one athlete, and listen, I know you may disagree with me. I've only heard one athlete that said, I did not think the rules applied to me.
And I hope it's the same athlete you that we talking about. Go ahead. Who's that?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods?
Tiger Woods. After he got caught up with his old lady and she hit him with the golf club and wrecked all of that stuff. Yeah. So for me, listen, I'm a pretty astute guy.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm very aware. But I'm not finna take all of that credit. Like, some of these dudes out here just straight, some of the stuff you do, you just be like, I dare you to do something.
But they know. There's no possible way. Think about it. We just had the GOAT on the Behind the Mask podcast, Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
And you asked him about what happened when he crashed his Ferrari, hitchhiked to a game, still got to the game, had somebody drive him to the game, arrived at the end of the first quarter. But what he said was, I was still on time. Right? The LT said,
no, he was still on the schedule, but he wasn't on time.
Right? But check it out. He also said in the 80s, you could do that. You could do what you wanted to do.
That's right.
Back in the 80s, you could do what you want.
That's the mindset of an athlete. Like, we all have that invincible feeling. Like, there's no possible way that at some point in your life, Takeo, that you haven't felt like, you know what? I'm good. I'm going to be all right. And now reality may hit and say, nah, pump your brakes. That might not be what this really is about. But it happens. There's no possible way it doesn't happen. It happened to me.
What?
My rookie year.
How did it happen to you?
My rookie year, the first incident that I got into, it was my rookie year, and the season was over. I was supposed to park my truck in the garage, but I didn't. I parked it on the street under my apartment in front of a fire hydrant. Again, above the law, right? That's breaking the law. Not supposed to do that. Dumb shit. Parked it there, and one night I had the alarm on, and I heard the alarm chirping, and I look out the window in Ty's room, where his room was at, and I see people carrying my subwoofers out of my trunk.
Who was it, the movers?
No damn movers at like 11 o'clock at night. It was somebody robbing me, breaking into my damn truck, man. So I see them carrying my shit, and I'm like, I can't yell and bark because Ty's asleep. And he's probably like 2 years old at the time. So now I'm like, yo, I tell Ty's mom, I'm like, yo, call the cops, right? But I run downstairs, strap up, run down the stairs, go look at the car, and I'm like, damn, they really broke into my shit. And the only way I found out is because I went to the one side and I seen the windows broken on his car seat. Sent me into a frenzy. So now I'm looking, I call my man up. One cat played ball, the other cat was his friend, Al Hustle. And he's like, all right, let's go looking for him. The cops came, said, Mr. Reyes, we'll find him. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about anything. But then I'm like, all right, but who had the nerve to break the window, take the speakers, but what sent me to a frenzy again was the fact the glass got on Ty's car. So you know how I feel about the kids, bro. So over the walkie-talkie, I hear him say, yeah, we got the description of a black male in a red T-shirt, another one in a white T-shirt on this side of the apartment complex. So the cops sped off. So what do? Hop in the car, go that way. They're like, Mr. Reyes, let us do our job. So we follow him on the other side of the complex, hop out the car. Cops are running around. You hear the walkie-talkies. They don't see him. What happens? We see him. So the guy that was with us, didn't play ball, takes off running after him. A lot of stuff happened. Wasn't me. A lot of stuff happened, and then ultimately, the guy ended up with a busted eye. You know what I'm saying? So now, the cops couldn't find my subwoofers. We jammed up, immediately go from victim to perpetrator because, you know what I'm saying, he sat there and got a busted eye socket.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about all of this, right? They
was
sit
it
there.
them but was it? Do you think it was them?
It's nobody else at 2 o'clock in the morning walking around with a red T-shirt and a white T-shirt on the side of the same complex. Yes, they couldn't find no evidence or whatever. But what they said was, yeah, we couldn't find the speakers, but what we do have is a kid over here with a busted eye socket. So I'm thinking about that shit. I ain't hit him. What do I care? The first thing they said, yeah, but they want to press charges against you because you play ball. Not the guys that didn't play ball, because I play ball. So me back then thinking, okay, I'm above the law. Let me be a vigilante, do this my own way. Let me solve this crime myself. I get jammed up. And guess when I heard about it? Super Bowl going on, halftime. It was like NSYNC or something. And I'm like, I don't even listen to this. So I fall asleep. It was the Giants versus the Ravens.
Yep.
Back in 01. Remember that?
Yep.
And there was a blowout. So I fall asleep. And then halftime, I hear the NSYNC or one of these bands going off. And I wake up and guess who I see on the TV?
Who?
New Orleans Saints offensive lineman Tutan Reyes is charged with battery because he da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, I wake up and I hear my name on the TV. I'm like, what the fuck?
What was your first thought, initial thought?
It wasn't me. Like, I didn't do nothing. But this shit happened in real time. And I'm like, yo, the first thing I do is call my mom's like, yo, they got me on the news because of what happened 2 weeks ago. They pressing charges against me because the people that I was with dusted this kid up. You know what I'm saying? And then the Saints people call me like, yo, you got to come into the office in the morning because they got wind of it. So we get in, you know, all of a sudden, it goes away above the law. It goes away because the
Bottom
kid
line,
that
it goes away.
Bottom line, it goes away because the kid that was suspected of doing it had warrants. So he wasn't coming to court because he can get arrested for his warrants.
Right.
But ultimately, it went away. And I'm sitting there like, damn, yo, all of this could happen just like that. So my incident ain't as deep as a Brittney Griner. I didn't go to jail. Never been to jail. Don't like being locked up. Never been into that kinky shit, getting locked up with handcuffs. Hell, I only like staying in the house. So I'm not into none of that. You know what I'm saying? But that thought process of thinking that I can do my own thing, it happens in every athlete's life. And if you say it doesn't, you are a liar, man. Straight up and down, bro. It happens. It is privilege, absolutely. Above the law, get into some situation with the law. You ever got pulled over for a ticket?
I have.
You ever buck back at the cops?
I have.
Case in point.
You can't go to jail for bucking back at a cop.
Why not? Do you see what's going on every day in America?
I'm saying it ain't gonna stick.
All right. You still gonna go to jail? You ever been to jail before?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I went to look at a jail, but I ain't never.
I think you got locked up. I'm about to say, hold on. I ain't never seen you. You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, like you can, like, I mean, you know, this is just like how I was taught. Like, yeah, I know they're here to govern the people, but you get paid off of what we do.
Facts.
So, like, they work for the people, and that's the way I always look at it. Mm-hmm. And if I have a problem with a cop, you know, like, I just remind them, like, man, you ain't no bigger than me. You got the gun on. Like, I get it, but you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, looking back at it, though, I know you was just like, that was something stupid as hell what we did.
Dumb. Why would we chase the same people that the cops are chasing instead of letting them do their job? Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So let's go back to the lines, though, and see what we got
man.
new. Let's go back, see what we got. Quarterback coach Ramon. Mm-hmm. I think some athletes do because of the pedestals they were put on.
Yeah.
So it's what I'm seeing, just even from the comments, it's a disconnect. Yeah. And the disconnect is like, man, football is what you do, or sport is what you do. Men and women, it's not who you are. And you can't get caught up into just because I've done this, because I've set this record, like I'm above the law. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, bottom line is, yeah, I get it, man. Listen, I've gotten my way out of speeding tickets.
Absolutely. We all have.
Like, we all have. Yeah. Like, and that's called favor. You can't compete with favor. Like, you just can't. And so, sometimes you just gotta, man, be smart enough to know, I'm jacked up. I messed up.
Yeah.
But I was told if you really want to go far in life, you have to be wise. And be wise enough to know when you see somebody else go through something that really got your attention and now you're vested into it emotionally, man, you learn from his mistakes or her mistakes. Yeah. Learn from it. Because listen, the only reason why it wasn't you is because you were not there at that time.
At that time. That's a fact. I 100% believe that.
Believe that.
It's timing is everything. And what's crazy? I think that it's not just athletes, right? And meaning that the privilege, and you spoke about it a little bit earlier. You talking about the privilege and the status, the social status, the economic status. It goes for everybody. And I want everybody to be clear. Like, I don't believe that athletes feel they're above the law. I definitely feel that there are some athletes who feel they're above the law, but I think that privilege comes along with it. And if you don't agree with that, again, you're lying, because think of it like this in this context, Spikes. You've been on vacation, right? You love to go on vacation.
Love it.
Overseas, Caribbean,
won't compromise
islands,
it for nothing.
For nothing. Think about this, people. Anybody that has been on vacation outside of the United States, the first thing you do when you go to another country is you ask, if there's a disconnect in terms of a language barrier, you ask, do you speak English? That's your privilege.
That's the privilege.
No, do you speak their language? Why do they have to succumb to what our language is? We should go. We're going there. They're not coming here. We're going there. So why don't we speak their language?
Good
right?
Example.
We're going over there. So we go over there.
Then get mad at them for not knowing how to speak English. And then you'll turn around and say some ignorant shit.
Dumb shit.
Everybody speaks English.
There you go.
This guy Sky Miles isn't long.
Right? It's so simple to that point. And then also when you go over there, you're used to getting catered to. Why? Because you're on vacation. They working. That's the same thing as if they were to come to the States and you're working at whatever job you're doing, and they come over here and expect you to cater to them for your job. We over there in another country expecting a whole nother culture to cater to us because we're on vacation. Why? Because we have enough money to go on vacation and we're privileged. Mm-hmm. So for everybody that's going to say, yes, athletes are, and I know y'all be on the comments on YouTube. I know y'all are on the comments on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram. Don't lie to yourself. You can lie to anybody in the world, but you cannot lie to yourself. You're just as privileged in your own right as the same athletes that you speak about. And we admit that we're privileged. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
We admit that we're part of that 1% that have made it.
No lies in the lounge.
No lies in the lounge. So what you need to do is actually admit to yourself, like, yeah, I feel a certain way when I go to other countries and I feel like I'm here. A little bit here when I deal with the people out of there. And it's human nature. And especially in America. I'm willing to go on the limb for that one, bro.
I mean, you don't have to lean on it. So for me personally, bro, like how I look at it, privilege is, for me, I think it's the sticker. That's what I think the majority are. Of course, you have stupidity out there, but I think when you look at somebody who has privilege, they do things like that, and it's hard to have privilege and then not have favor. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think those two run neck and neck with each other. I mean, hell, if you don't believe me, look at the insurrection that happened at the Capitol, So that's still going on, that debacle. But, at the end of the day, man, that's what I feel.
Yeah. So it's not just the athletes, it's everybody, man. If you have privilege, pretty much have some favor.
Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what I've seen, what we've all experienced, and what I've experienced too.
No lies in the lounge, bro.
No lies in the lounge, bro.
Behind the mask.